This is the end of the year.
Yay!
Andrea and I survived one full year of doing these shows. Although we did start officially, Andrea, January 22nd. So we haven't had our first year anniversary, which
No.
we will in the
Yeah.
new year. And I think actually it's going to be just after we come back from a cruise. So that'll be interesting.
Right.
Anyway, but today, because it is the end of the year, we're going to be talking about goals, because Andrea and I started our year talking about goal setting, and we did set goals. And Andrea, you have your little card that we wrote out. Yes.
Here.
And we're going to get into the details of that. But because it's the end of one year and around the corner is the new year, Andrea's got her tip on how you can take something old and make it new.
Right. And that is January 1st, usually. We do want to put the previous year behind us and, shake it off and get on with the new. And so I was thinking, what about our furniture? If you want to kind of freshen up your room, make it feel more fresh. So I saw this tip that if you have end tables for your bedroom, or maybe even coffee tables, and I did something with something last year. So what you do is you can dust it off, clean it up, and the liners that you can buy in the stores, the hardware stores, grocery stores for your cupboards, you can use them to make a new tabletop. And they come in all colors. They have like granite looking, marble looking, flowers, you name it, they have it out there. And you just, take the back off and glue it on your top, and you have a brand new end table. And if you want to paint the bottom of it, you can do that also. But what I was going to say was, last year, in my kitchen, I had a big corner that was basically not being used. And I had an old 3-drawer end table from IKEA that we weren't using. And it was a little beat up. So that's exactly what I did. I got a liners that looked exactly like my granite countertop. And I placed one on the very top. And then on the front of the drawers, I cut it so that it was sort of inside the outer part of the drawer. So it looked like it had a white border, because the border wasn't too bad. It looked amazing. And it's our coffee center. So I use the drawers to put my coffee cups in and my sugar. And on the other ones down below, I have the coffee pods, I have the teas, and in the very bottom is, little odds and ends, whatever. And then on top, because I like the Tassimo, my husband likes an espresso. So we have both of those machines on top, and it just was a phenomenal idea. So if you have old furniture you want to freshen up, that's an easy fix.
Going along that vein, my sister had on the risers of her stairs going up to the second level, it was white. And what she did was she found where you could buy the wallpaper for risers.
Perfect.
And she said it's all over Amazon, but what she did was she had the wallpaper and she just cut it herself. And she put this nice pattern. So as you're walking up the stairs, it's this beautiful pattern. And it was like, what a difference, but it added so much in her house. Yeah. And it probably cost her $5 or $10 and her time to put it in. It was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. If you think about certain things, you can make things look new. I had some old planters out front, the big cast iron ones, and my girlfriend said, just go to Home Depot and get the black spray.
Okay. Yep.
Wow. It took me 5 minutes and they look absolutely brand new. So
Yep.
Don't be hasty to throw out what you already have. Maybe it can be repurposed or
Yep.
up, and if you're that type to sand things down and
Yeah.
paint, whatever, even all the better.
Good. So anyway, Andrea, we're going to talk about how the ladies did and how we did with our goals. And if you set them last year, then you want to make sure, like Andrea said, she's been keeping the card handy all year in her purse. And although we did not meet our goals, we're not giving up. I mean, that's the one thing, because sometimes you can be just around the corner on
Exactly.
anything that you're trying to do. And a lot of people have given up that close to being successful.
Exactly.
And we're not planning to do that. But it's not that we're not successful, because we are. We're
Definitely.
successful because we come out every week and we're sharing things that we've learned along the way with you ladies to help you along the way. And hopefully you're taking this and sharing it with other people so you can help other people along the way.
And I have to say that we have come a long way as far as, putting the show together, how we put it together, especially on your end. You've been keeping up with the tech part of it and getting us out there. And we also have, we have some followers, and a lot of people share, maybe not so much subscribe, but I get a lot of feedback, and it's always good, always positive, and the ladies out there are happy with our content. So that makes me happy, and gives me an inspiration to keep going.
Well, that's good. And that's what it's all about. Because if you do something that you love, it's not work. And
Yeah.
it is a process. And so we are learning as we go along. And I know that together we will just get better and better, because as a team, we're able to feed off each other, we're able to share with each other, and we're able to share that with you. And so today, in talking about goals, sometimes people will have a lot of excuses on why they're not meeting their goals. With Andrea and I, we haven't met it, but we're not making excuses.
Right.
Again, we've accepted that this is a learning process for us, and we want to share this content, and we know eventually it will grow and continue to grow, and
Right.
with your help.
Yeah.
But Andrea and I were talking before the show about a person that we both really respect and listen and watch. And that person is Drew Barrymore, because sometimes people like to think that if they had a bad childhood, they have a reason to say, well, that's fine for you, but it was like not so easy for me growing up, and not so this and not so that.
Right.
And there's a lot of excuses. And
Yeah.
people love to play the blame game.
Yeah.
But in life, you have to take 100% responsibility. And we've talked about this in the past,
Yeah.
for your own actions, which is what we've done and what Drew Barrymore has done. And the thing that I like about her, and Andrew, you can tell me your side, but one of the things I recently started following Drew Barrymore, she popped up on a feed of mine, and watching her interact with her guests and all the things that she's been doing to change her life. And she changed her life not just for the better, but she did this because once she had children, she realized that they're the center of her universe now. It
Right.
wasn't her acting. And as much as she gave pleasure to a lot of the movies, I still watch a lot of the movies
Oh,
that
yeah.
I have with Drew, because like one of my favorites is The Wedding Singer. I love that movie, and I watch that all the time with her and Adam Sandler, and
Oh, yeah.
I get a kick out of that. But Drew decided, regardless of where she was in her life and how she was brought up, that she changed it because now there was something more important. And
Right.
now with her talk show, she can do it around the scheduling of her children. And
Right.
she's so interesting to listen to, because
Yeah.
she could be your girlfriend next door. She's
Yeah.
that kind of girl that she
Yeah.
gets excited on little things, because my sister always tells me, oh, Linda, you just get excited about everything. I do. Little things get me excited. I don't need to have big things. And even a lot of people that could get starstruck, Drew Barrymore will get starstruck when she gets a certain guest on her show, because she's so excited to meet them. because she hasn't met everybody in Hollywood.
Right,
But
right.
when she gets to interview them, it's exciting for her. And I love that about her.
And that's exciting to watch.
It is
Somebody,
exciting to watch.
there's you know, a few women that I simply adore because of that. They're down to earth. They don't feel entitled, and they share a lot with the public, you know. And Drew is just happens to be one of those women, you know. And the other, though, another woman that I absolutely adore is Goldie Hawn. You
Oh
know,
my, yes.
she's
Love Goldie.
and she's always been down to earth. I mean, remember back at the Laugh-In, that show, the Laugh-In,
Oh,
where she started basically, and it was just phenomenal. And then of course, or Overboard, the movie.
oh,
I
that's one of my favorites. That one and
Right.
House Sitters.
Yes, and then, you know, of course, her husband Kirk, who's my all-time hunk, and they've built a beautiful life together, and that's inspiring in their world, you know. So I love seeing and reading stories about their life, and that's very inspiring.
Recently, well, not that recent, but recently enough, I was watching an episode. Excuse me, I'm still got my throat. It's not back to normal yet. But anyway, I was watching an episode of Drew when she had Brooke Shields on. And
Oh,
what was really interesting with that was that Brooke Shields is another woman that likes to inspire women and likes to, I'll say, help women succeed in whatever it is that they're doing. Like I get inspiration from Drew, I got inspiration from Brooke Shields as well, thinking these are women that like to help and support other women. And this is, Andrea, what our show has always been about, is just
exactly.
being there for other women, because we don't need to be plotting and going against each other in order
Right.
for us to look better. I think that women look better when they help other women. And you know, they always say behind every successful man is a woman, because really women can be so inspiring, whether
Definitely.
it's for their spouses, their children, their friends. And it's always interesting when you get a compliment from a woman, you actually take that more personally than if a man compliments you, because men just tend to do that, but
Right.
women don't. And it's harder for women to compliment somebody else that they look really good, or, you know, they have a nice outfit on, or, you know,
Well,
if
funny you said that, because last night Sarah and I were out shopping, and we were at a cashier,
Sarah's her daughter.
yes, sorry. And it was a young girl who was serving us and checking us out, and we had a lot, both of us and my other daughter. But when I just was amazed at how pretty she was, and finally I said to myself, you know what? Just don't think it, say it. And then, so sure enough, you know, we were all done. I said, you know what? I just have to tell you, you're so pretty. She said, oh, thank you so much. I said, I had to tell you that. I said, you have a beautiful face. She says, oh, you made my day, you know. So there you go. You know, she was working, you know, on a cashier at Christmas time, probably going out of her mind. She had made a few mistakes, had to call the supervisor over. And, you know, I said, it's okay, calm down, you know. So, and then probably that calmed her down. And so that she could take the next guy. And believe you me, the next guy was a piece of work. So I hope the compliment helped her get through him.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because I was out recently with a friend and we went to the theater, but before then we went to dinner. And it's not always easy to get good wait staff anymore.
Mm,
I actually, in the old days, Andrea, and I think you have as well, we both waitress. We know that it's a tough job,
it is.
but I always enjoy doing it. I love to serve people, and I've always enjoyed that. And
That's like me.
but I find I can be internally critical of certain things. And, you know, I got some pet peeves. And one of the things is, if I give a gratuity, I just expect people to be polite and say thank you, because I
Right,
don't have to. I'm not paying their wages, their
right.
employer is. But if I appreciate the service and I tip well, I just expect a little thank you. A lot of the wait staff don't do that today because it's almost like it's an entitlement that you just should pay their
They,
tip.
they expect
They
it,
expect it.
absolutely.
So we were at a restaurant downtown Toronto, my friend and I, and everything from start to finish with this waitress was perfect. So perfect. And she was a young lady, a very young lady. So she, I would say, is still in her early years of even learning that trade.
Right,
And I said to her, I said, you know, I waitressed many, many years ago. And I said, but nowadays I don't really see good wait staff. I said, but you are one of the best I've ever seen.
oh,
And I'm going to say years. I
wow,
said, and I know good wait staff because I said I've done it myself. But I
right,
said, everything you've done exactly the way that you should, in the sense of giving us the attention, but not making assumptions, but asking the right questions. I mean, everything. It literally, I couldn't find flaw. She goes, oh, well, don't tell me, tell my boss. And I said, you bring him here, I'll tell your boss, because you are special,
well,
because you do your job very well.
yeah,
And I said, people appreciate that.
isn't that nice?
But I
And
couldn't believe it.
it's great to give compliments wherever you can, and people like that. And if somebody's maybe having a bad day, it'll perk them up, and then they'll treat even you better,
It
if
all
like
goes forward,
it
right?
all
It pays
for,
forward.
and then they're not so crabby and they don't bring that home, and it has a snowball effect.
It does. And that's why, if you really think about all the things that we do and all the ladies that we're trying to help, when you help people, it gives you a sense of satisfaction that you're doing something good. And if it's making you feel good just by helping somebody else, can you imagine if people kept paying that forward, and
Exactly.
more and more women were actually, I'm going to say, out there helping other women in whatever. And I want to give you an example too, where women can be really tough on other women. Say, for example, you have, I'm going to say, a single, well, actually, it wouldn't necessarily be your friend. I'm going to say there's a woman out there that's single.
Yeah.
And in particular, you know, maybe one of your friend's husband has been fooling around.
Ugh.
I know it's terrible, but it does happen. So there's a lot of married men that will fool around. But what I seem to find is that women get mad at the single women. They might not have even known that the guy was married, but everyone always thinks, well, she's the, B word,
Yeah.
because she went out with them. Wait a minute. Why don't you look at the guy? He knows he's married. He knows he's in a committed relationship. And yet most women want to claw the eyes out of another woman instead of feeling, like, poor woman, she got duped because the guy's already in a
if
relationship.
if that's the situation, right?
Well,
Some
you don't want women chasing other men's husbands, for
Yeah,
sure.
well, that happened in my own family. So, that woman was my daughter's best friend, and she knew what she was doing. So that's not a woman you want to be with or be around,
Well,
or
that's true.
friend, obviously. I mean,
Right.
he also, did the wrong. He knew what he was doing, and he was married, and so forth. So, I mean, he wasn't, uh, he didn't have many friends after that either. So, I mean, there are occasions where both are at fault. And
Right.
then occasions where, like when I look at that big case of, what is it, Scott Patterson, his wife, it was
Oh, with Lacey? Yes.
yeah, Lacey, and that girl had no idea. She was floored when
Duped.
she found out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine? Because who would even want to be with a guy that's going to go and murder his family just to be with another woman? That's a
Right.
whack job. But what I guess my real point is, and you're right, there are situations but don't jump to conclusions
Right,
all the
right,
time that it's the woman's fault,
right,
when sometimes you've got to look at the guy, because as women, you know, and they call it the sisterhood, they call it that for a reason, because we should be there to help support each other.
right.
And even in, you know, your own family situation, I think that you're, you know, that the marriage you're talking about, both parties in that particular case both knew what they were getting into, both of it was wrong. And I'll say the person that was hurt, in your case, your relative, they were at least surrounded by other women that could help support them, to just say, you know what, unfortunately, you got a bad apple, including in your friend.
Because, you know, ultimately the woman always tends to blame herself. What did I do wrong? What, well, you know, how could I have, you know, and I find that there is nothing you could do. That I find that a man is either that way or a woman is that way or not. They're
Yeah,
either they would need multiple relationships in their life, multiple women or men, and it wouldn't matter who they married. And I mean, you can see by all celebrities and different marriages that they just don't last. And you think, wow, you know, they've got the most beautiful man or the most beautiful woman, but you hear a couple of years later they've moved on or they've divorced and now they just need multiple different people to satisfy their own egos. So I say to women that are going through that, it's not about you. It's never will be about you. You have to find a different type of man, like find out, maybe figure out what type of man is like that and which isn't. Like you can look at their past, like looking back after all was said and done, you could see that he would be that type of man. But you don't see the red flags, you get caught.
yeah. But I think, I guess, in this whole thing, in what we're trying to do, is just be there for your friend, for your relative. You know, be there when somebody is going through something, that maybe just a few words of inspiration can make
Right.
all the difference. Because
Hopefully
we
they'll listen. Hopefully they'll listen, Linda. Like sometimes you might know something or you try to talk to somebody, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to know it. You know, they have to be ready for information or inspiration.
true. But what I really want to say is that I don't want women to attack other women
Right.
before they even know what's going on.
100%.
Because I just think that we should stick together. And I think we become a more reckoning force as women,
Definitely.
even individually, but as a gender, when we can stick together. And again, we're not always going to agree on absolutely everything, and that's not what I'm talking about. And
Right.
sometimes it's just, don't attack the other woman, just be there to listen. If they just need a sounding board, just be
Exactly.
there to listen, but also be ready to say, you know, I appreciate that you trust me to, you know, have this information, whatever, but I know I'm not in a position to help you, but maybe you should go to a professional,
Right.
so that you help them in that way, but to lead them to that right path. Because again, you want healthy relationships with women, that's going to help you become more successful.
Yes. And
Healthy,
I think why it's taking so long is because historically women were at home, women, you know, looked after their families. They didn't really work that much. Men have always been out there working and climbing the ladder. And but I find because women are so new in that respect to the working world as far as careers and you know, getting high up in the ladder and being on the Fortune 500, and that there's still a little bit of competition, jealousy, that stuff still going on because we want to prove that we are just as good as men. But I say there's so much room in this world for everybody. There's a place for everyone. Don't be so in a hurry to make it to the top that you don't
or
bring,
stomp on people.
you don't step on people and you don't take the time to bring some with you, because those people that come with you, once you're up there or on your way up, they aid you, they help you, they want to see you succeed instead
Yeah,
of being down there saying, oh, look what she did to me just so she could do this or do that. Include everybody, because it's a big world out there. And if you don't get one job, there's another job waiting for you, and that's what I think men don't worry about so much, because they
no,
know out there there's tons of room for everybody. It's like if you buy, I always say, like, when if I don't get a house, like if that we bid on or whatever, there's lots of houses out there. Something will come. The right one will come. And that's
right.
what you wait for. I always say, if you have to fight for something and push people aside, it's not right for you.
Yeah,
What's
and
for you should come easy.
right. And it's a good point, because even with friends, you shouldn't have to work so hard.
That's
I
right.
want you, I want people to be good friends, but on the other hand, if you've got to do all the effort, maybe that's not a friend.
Exactly.
And you got to look at that as well. So
That's
when you're looking at the past year, find out, maybe make some notes of what worked for you over the year. And then
right.
what were the things that didn't work?
Right.
And what do you think that you can change going into 2023 that's going to help you on your path? And again, maybe you set this big audacious goal and you don't get it. But if you didn't set it, where would you be? And
Right.
for us, even though we set a really big goal, I still think we've come a long way towards
Oh,
that goal. And
absolutely.
soon we'll be celebrating our 1 year anniversary in doing the show. It can only go up from there, because we're going to keep putting in the effort,
Right.
but we have to have the goals to do that. And so
Yeah.
we will continue with the goal that we have. We're probably going to be enhancing that goal. When we meet again in the new year, we'll talk to you about what we've set for this year, and
Right.
actually how you ladies can help play a role in helping us, because now that we've been here for almost a year, you know what we're all about. And we're not all about trying to sell you anything except sell you on yourself, that
So,
you're worth improving and moving forward, whatever it is that you want. And we're
right.
here to help and support you.
There's always tomorrow. There's always a new day. And put today behind you if it didn't go the way you wanted,
Yep,
and look forward to tomorrow. And if it
yep,
was great, say, wow. I always, if I have a really good day, as far as even my physical self, I think the next, when I wake up the next day, okay, how did I start my day? Did I eat protein? Did I eat junk? Did I have water? I try to repeat the good things. And then if I didn't feel so good, okay, that donut for breakfast was not a good idea. Learn,
learn.
and see your surroundings, see what's good, like pay attention. It helps, it counts.
That's a good point, though, Andrea. I like the fact that you said, look at your surroundings. And that's not just where you live, but even your workspace, everything. Because even when you look around, and if you just see masses of paper and clutter and all these
Yeah,
things, that's weighing you down and you don't even realize it. It's all
yeah,
subconsciously preventing you from moving forward. I
absolutely.
love the fact that you mentioned that, because that's something a lot of people don't think about. What
Mhm.
are your surroundings? And that
Right.
could be with people, it could be with things, it could be your home environment,
Yes.
but it all has an impact on you personally.
Yes. Yeah. Day to day. Day to
Yeah,
day. Every day you feel differently. You feel either great, good, depending on your surroundings and what's keeping you happy.
and
And
that
I,
is important.
when I wake up and I don't have a whole lot to do, I always keep on top of things. My bed is made first thing. That makes me happy. That gets me in a good mood. Some people don't care,
Yeah,
so think of things that make you happy and get you going in the morning. And then your day will just get better and better.
So if you have comments that you want to make, whether it's through Facebook or on YouTube, on things that you've done, things that you've picked up in the past, things that you've learned from lessons, people that inspire you, leave it in the comments for other ladies to,
Right.
you know, see, and for us as well, because we need feedback from you to know what you would like from us.
That inspires us to keep
Yeah.
going. And
Yeah.
if there's anything that they want to talk about or know about,
Yeah.
want us to find out about, leave a comment, and that'll be subjects for the new year. It would be wonderful.
Yep, we're always looking because we just want to help you in
Right.
whatever way we can. And if you're thinking about that item, something that you'd like to hear about, other women are as well.
Exactly.
Remember, you're not alone. You
Right.
might feel like it sometimes, but you're not alone. We're all
Absolutely.
here together.
Right.
So that's it for this year's last episode. And talking about goals, we're really going to recapture this again a little bit in the new year and talk specifically about what we've put on our list. But we
Right.
are going to continue our goal from last year because we didn't get quite there. And but that's okay.
That
We
is
have a
okay.
goal and it's written.
And we're thankful for the ones that did subscribe.
Yeah. And you ladies, the ones that did succeed in their goals, make your goals even bigger and better for 2023. You have
Roger.
nothing to lose.
On doing.
Dream big, dream very big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm Linda,
And I'm Andrea, wishing you a happy new year.
and don't forget, we need you to
Like
share.
and subscribe. That's
For
the new
sure.
goal.
Yeah. Happy New Year's, everybody.